Alright everybody, welcome back to another Dead by Daylight video. So, a few days ago, I did a video talking about how I think remote hooks should be in the base game. This video is a clarification video, and two, I want to go over some ideas I saw in the comments, because a lot of you guys had some very good suggestions on how to make it work, and I think we can do this, honestly speaking. So, first for the clarifications. I do not think that the remote hooks and the way they were put into the event should come to the base game. I think that's stupid. That would be way too overpowered. Also, I do not think that remote hooks should be a base kit mechanic. I thought I made it pretty clear that I wanted it to be a perk or something, and I guess that wasn't made clear enough. But let's get into some of the other things. So before we go into how I think it should be implemented as a perk, let's go into some of the caveats. I think there should be a 2-second buffer before you are able to remote hook. That means that flashlight saves, pallet saves, flashbang saves, etc., and power struggle and things like that are still able to happen. I think that was one of the worst things about the remote hooking, was things like that were possible, but they had to be very, very precise. So I think a 2 to 3 second buffer before you can do it is the way to go with that. So now, how would I implement it? Based on what I heard and read from a lot of the comments, I think the best way we can implement it, I think there's two options we have. Either a scourge hook or a hex. Now, personally, I prefer the hex option. For the scourge hook option, here's basically my thought process. There's a scourge hook on the map, scourge hook, remote hook, or something like that. I don't know what to actually name it. When a survivor is unhooked from that hook, your next hook can be a remote hook. I don't like this because it would really happen too often. My thing with remote hooks as well is I don't want it to be like every single hook or every other hook. I do think it should only happen maybe 2 to 3 times a match. I really don't think it should be something that's done all the time for every reason, because that would kind of be way too good, in my opinion. My preferred way was, and I forgot who commented it. If I have the comment and can find it, I will post it up here. But their suggestion was, there's a hex on the map, and you gain tokens based on how many times you hit a survivor. Every time you hit a survivor, you get 1 token. When you have 5 tokens, the next time you would be able to pick a survivor up, you can remote hook them. I like this because it's 5 hits. So you're getting it maybe 2 times, 3 times a match, depending on how the map works. And I think that's perfectly fine. It's rewarding the killer for going for the hits. Survivors have a counterplay to it, because if they don't want to deal with it, they can get rid of the hex. The one thing I would do with this is that if they get rid of the hex, you still keep the tokens you have. So you can kind of store them if you want. But it does mean that if the survivors notice you have it or see the hex, they can get rid of it almost immediately. Now, this would run into the problem that all hexes do, that survivors can get rid of it very early and basically get rid of a very powerful effect you have. But I think considering what this can do, it's perfectly fine. One thing I was debating on whether or not remote hooks should apply hook effects, like Pop Goes the Weasel, Pain Res, Plaything. The way it worked in the event was very inconsistent. Some hook perks work, some didn't, some worked sometimes, some didn't. If we're making it as conditional as I'm saying it is, I do think allowing it to activate perk or hook effects would be perfectly fine. But maybe there's some I'm not thinking of that would kind of mess with it a little bit. The other thing that I also mentioned was no change in elevation. I do not think remote hooks should be allowed to put people upstairs or downstairs. It should just be the closest hook to your elevation. If there isn't one that close, fine, make it go up or down. But I think the logic should make it go as close as it can to your current elevation, to make it a little bit more balanced, and so killers can't manipulate it in a way to make it kind of really, really oppressive. But yeah, that was basically the follow-up video for the remote hook thing. I still think it could work. I really do. And before anyone says that I'm an entitled killer main for wanting remote hooks, never forget that I did a video where I think Unbreakable should be base kit in some way. Just never forget that. Okay? Listen, I'm here because I think it's a cool idea and I liked it. Alright? It's not me trying to advocate, oh, killer needs to be OP or anything like that. Anyways, I love you guys. Let me know what y'all think. Have a good one. And as always, bye.
Subscribe, damn it. I'll be back. I always come back, and so should you, you moron.